Hey everyone, and welcome back to Mindflow Yoga. Today we will focus on all things to relieve stress and tension in the lower back. If you want to grab a block for this practice, hit pause now and we'll meet up when you're ready. As a reminder, the link for today's playlist can be found in the description section. We'll start today in a comfortable, upright, seated position. Your hands can softly relax over the tops of your knees. Closing down the eyes, feeling the connection with the ground, and sitting up tall through the spine. Turn your attention to the breath, feeling your breath enter through your nose and filling up to whatever capacity your body is telling you today. And feeling the breath leave through your nose with the same capacity that entered. Continue this breath for a few more cycles, allowing yourself to set aside the to-dos, what's happening next, and just being here, present in this moment. Blinking the eyes open, we'll begin to move to a tabletop position. Starting to warm up our spine with a few rounds of cow and cat. On an inhale into cow, dropping the belly with a gentle lift of your gaze, and an exhale into cat, rounding through the spine and tucking your chin. Inhale, creating openness throughout the chest. And exhale, tucking in the belly to the spine. Continue 2 to 3 more cow and cat at your own breath. And we'll all meet back in a neutral spine. Now putting a bend into your toes, exhale into downward facing dog. Since this is our first dog of the day, let's take a moment here to pedal out your feet, bending one knee at a time, maybe lifting the heels, perhaps moving each heel from one side of the mat to the other side of the mat. Coming back to stillness, let's reach our right hand through to the outer side of the left ankle. Feeling the openness created on the left side of the body, running up through the left side of the leg. Coming back through center, let's now reach our left hand through, wrapping our hand around the right side ankle. Again, feeling that openness on the right side of the body. Coming back to center, we'll do this again. Reaching the right hand through, meeting up with our left ankle, breathing here. Coming back through center, now reaching the left hand through to meet up with the right ankle, and breathing here. Coming back through center for a breath. Peeking forward, let's make our way to the top of the mat. Inhale to create length in the spine. On the exhale, we'll put a generous bend to the knees and rest your upper body gently on the top of your legs, feeling the space in your lower back. Pausing here for a breath. On an inhale, we'll sweep the hands high overhead, bringing the hands through heart center, and exhaling into Tadasana. Again, inhale, sweeping the hands over your head, and exhale for a gentle forward fold. Inhale to lengthen the spine, and this time again, reaching the right hand to the outer side of the left ankle, coming back through center, and switching sides, bringing the left hand to meet the right ankle. On an exhale, we'll step back into downward dog, coming down to your knees, then to your chest and your chin, and finally lowering all the way to the ground. On an inhale, we'll start to peel up off the mat into Sphinx, with your forearms connected to the mat, and a slight energy in the forearms pulling back, creating openness through the chest, and feeling the tops of the legs and the tops of the feet connected to the ground. Exhale to lower, placing your hands alongside of your chest. As you exhale, pushing back into downward facing dog, coming down to your knees, your chin, your chest, before you inhale into upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, sweeping the right foot high, bringing the right foot through in between the hands. We'll inhale into warrior one. Taking a breath here to square off our shoulders and our hips, relaxing the shoulders. Exhale into warrior two, feeling strong through the arms, a slight inner rotation of the left hip. We'll begin to straighten our right knee as we tip forward. Perhaps you want to grab a block as we enter into triangle pose. Reaching the left hand high up in the sky. Perhaps your gaze peeks up at your left fingertips. Feeling the openness created through your right leg. Taking a moment here before we bend the right knee. Coming back up into warrior two. And on an inhale, we'll tip back to reverse our warrior. Cartwheeling our hands down to the ground, we'll step back into downward facing dog. Before we bend our knees to our chest, our chin, inhale into upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale now, sweeping the left foot high, bringing the left foot through between the hands. We'll inhale to warrior one. Again, taking a moment to set up this pose, squaring off the hips, the shoulders, relaxing the shoulders. As we exhale into warrior two, feeling the energy run out of each side of your fingertips. Left knee is strong. We'll begin to straighten the left knee, tipping forward and dropping the left hand along the left foot, reaching the right hand high, opening up the upper body to the side of the room into triangle. Feeling the length created up through the left leg and the openness created in the chest. Now bending the left knee, we'll exhale back into warrior two before we inhale and tip back to reverse your warrior. Exhale to cartwheel your hands down, stepping back into downward dog, knees, chest, chin on an inhale to upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, sweeping the right foot high, bringing the right foot through into Anjaneyasana, which is a version of a lower lunge. Feeling the openness created in the left hip. Perhaps you tip your chest back, raise your chin, creating a slight back bend in this pose. Bringing the hands back to heart center, bending the foot into a lunge. Holding here for a moment. Perhaps you grab your block for this, where we turn and open up for an easy side twist, reaching the right hand high. Keeping that back left knee straightened but not locked. Bringing the hands to heart center, we'll push off that back leg into Utkatasana or chair pose, reaching the hands high alongside the head. And exhale to gently forward fold. Inhale, lengthening through the spine, reaching the right hand through to the left ankle. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, and now reaching the left hand through to the right ankle. Exhale to step back into downward facing dog, knees, chin, chest, before we inhale to upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Sweeping the left foot high, bringing the left foot through, lowering the right knee to the ground into Anjaneyasana. Holding here for a moment, feeling that openness created in the right hip. Perhaps you tip your gaze forward, opening through the chest a little more, creating a slight back bend. Bringing the hands to heart center, stepping now into a lower lunge. Placing that right hand down alongside the left foot and reaching that left hand high for a gentle side twist. Coming back to center, pushing off the right foot, stepping into chair pose. Again, reaching the hands alongside the head. Taking a breath here for a moment. Before we exhale, a gentle forward fold. Inhale, lengthening through the spine. Right hand reaches through to the left ankle. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. And left hand to right ankle. Stepping back into downward facing dog. Knees, chest, chin, before we inhale to upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Taking a breath here. Breathing in through the nose. We'll inhale, sweeping the right leg high, coming up on an inhale to crescent warrior. Reaching that left foot to the back of the mat. Relaxing the shoulders. Bringing the hands to heart center, we'll push off that left leg as we move into warrior three. Creating alignment along the spine, through the leg, out through the toes. And then go ahead and place your hands to the ground and tip forward into standing needle. Feeling that stretch in the right leg, the openness created in the left front hip. We'll bring the left foot to meet the right foot and creating length through our spine as we inhale, reaching the right hand through to the left ankle. And inhale, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, left hand, right ankle. Stepping back into downward facing dog. Knees, chin, chest. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. This time on an inhale, sweeping the left foot high, bringing the left foot through, Inhale to Crescent Warrior. This time reaching that right heel to the back of the mat, squaring off the hips and the shoulders, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the face, bringing the hands to heart center, pushing off that right foot as we tip forward into Warrior 3. Again, creating that alignment through the spine, through the hips, through the right leg, out through the right toes. Place your hands on the mat and tip forward into Standing Needle. This time feeling the length created in the left leg. Place the right foot down on the mat. Inhale to lengthen the spine, reaching the right hand through on an exhale. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Left hand meets the right ankle. Exhale, stepping back into Downward Facing Dog. Knees, chest, chin. Inhale, Upward Facing Dog. And exhale, Downward Facing Dog. Lifting the heels, we'll jump all the way through to a seated position. And slowly make our way to the mat. We'll go ahead and set up for a few rounds of bridge. Perhaps you want to grab your block and place it between your knees, bringing your heels to your fingertips. On an inhale, we'll start to lift the pelvis. And perhaps you want to start walking your hands in towards the center. Maybe you grab your hands, or maybe your hands just remain alongside your body. Taking a moment to breathe here. Exhale to lower all the way down, removing the block if you have it between your knees, bringing your feet to the outer sides of the mat and swaying your knees from side to side. Coming back to set up for our second bridge, bringing the heels to meet the fingertips. On an inhale, we'll begin to lift the pelvis, using our leg muscles to help create that lift. Maybe walking your shoulders in towards the center, maybe clasping your hands in the center, and maybe lifting your heels. And breathing here. Lowering the heels and walking the shoulders back out, we'll exhale to slowly roll down to the spine, taking our feet to the outer sides of the mat and swaying our knees from side to side. Bringing our feet back for our last bridge, or perhaps wheel is in your practice. Setting up here. On an inhale, we'll start to lift the pelvis. If you're going into wheel, we're fully extending the arms. If you're in bridge, perhaps you're walking your shoulders inwards, walking your hands towards center. Perhaps you're lifting your heels. And on an exhale, slowly coming out of the pose, whether it's wheel or bridge, bringing the feet to the outer sides of the mat and swaying the knees side to side. Bringing the feet back to center. Let's hook our left foot over our right knee and thread our hands through to the right shin, bringing the legs towards the body. Maybe here you're shutting off the eyes, taking a breath to feel the length created in the left hip, keeping the connection with your lower back and the mat. Bring your hands out to the side and begin to drop your left foot over to the right side of the mat. Again, feeling the openness running through the left hip, through the left lower back, through the left side body. Checking that your shoulders are making connection with the mat, that the left foot is placed onto the ground flat. Coming back through center, we'll switch sides, now hooking the right foot in front of the left knee, threading the hands through to the left shin, and gently bringing the legs towards the chest. Breathing here, feeling the openness created in the right hip. Reaching your hands out to the outer sides of your mat, and now dropping the right foot to the left side of the mat. The right foot is planted flat onto the ground. Feeling the length and energy run through the right hip, the right lower back, the right side body. Feeling the shoulders connected to the ground. Coming back into center, tucking our knees into our chest, maybe wrapping your hands around your shins. Let's stretch out our left leg and put a bend on our right leg, and drop the right knee over to the left side of the body, and your gaze can go over to the right side of the mat. Again, maybe your eyes are still closed. Feeling the tension release in your lower back. Breathing here. Inhale and exhale. Coming back through center, we'll straighten the right leg and bend the left leg and drop the left knee over to the right side of your mat. Your gaze goes over to the left side. Again, pausing here. Feeling the tension releasing in your lower back. Inhale and exhale. Coming back to center, bringing the knees back to the chest, maybe tucking your chin in, lifting your head, creating length through the neck. We'll open up to happy baby, either grabbing the inside or the outer sides of the feet, perhaps rocking your baby, moving side to side, feeling the connection of your lower back to the ground, and meeting in center for a moment of stillness. Bringing the knees back to centered. And let's take a bended knee Shavasana. So feet are going to go to the outer sides of the mat. Knees are going to make connection towards the center. Maybe you place your left hand on your heart, your right hand on your belly. Feeling the breath enter the body through the nose, down the throat, down the chest, and filling the belly. And feeling the exhale travel back up through the lungs, through the throat, and out through the nose. Noticing your heartbeat, the calming rhythm of the beat. Thanking yourself for showing up here today. Thanking yourself for making time for you. Bringing some movement back to your fingers and toes. Rolling over to one side as we take a breath. Slowly making our way up into a seated position, eyes softly closed. Bringing your hands to heart center. Bowing your head with gratitude for your practice here today. Namaste.